Hello, I'm Robbie Fowler and you're watching Redmen TV.
This is me transfer roundup special.
Okay. Jordon Ibe.
Nothing. There's a wasteland of nothing. We brought Ibe back on loan. We're not buying our own player.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And it's weird, Chris, because I don't know about you, but 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, if someone said Liverpool are doing nothing, I'd have been raging. We've got Brad Jones in goal, Barini starting the front on his own. Now it's almost a case of, I can kind of see the point, because who are they going to buy? I mean, buy a goalie. Everyone keeps saying buy a goalie, and I agree. I want us to buy a goalie. Who's selling the goalie in January? Which team are going to think, you know what, I'll sell my goalie? And to me, it's just, and I think this January window now, it's weird because no one's doing nothing, really, are they? There's teams that should strengthen who aren't really. City are Bob Boney, and I think Arsenal might do a little bit of business, but there's not much happening. It just seems like, and I'm not I don't accept it because we should be buying people still. I agree, but it's kind of like Liverpool have just sat back and thought, not for us this.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because I mean, you're talking 3 weeks ago, yeah, exactly the same as you. I'd have been absolutely raging about it, and I've been like, goalkeeper and a striker, that's what we need.
Definitely.
Now, my opinion's changed quite a bit. Like, I just think we need a striker at the moment. I'm like massive minority here, but Simon Mignolet's impressed me. He's
been alright anyway, and he's 7 clean sheets, as many as
De Gea.
Yeah, as many as the good goalies in the league. And to be fair to Mignolet, our defence was shocking for a while.
That's it, like it's proximity to 11. That's what does it to Mignolet. The closer he gets to like two fucking magnets, the closer they get to it, they just fire themselves apart and there's gaping holes everywhere. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, Lovren came on the other week, didn't he? Mignolet went to pot. Now though, Mignolet's just been told, just kick the ball up the field. Sound. That's all you want from a fucking goalkeeper. When you sat in Anfield and your arsehole's twinking, all you want to do is see the ball get fucking launched down the field. And the way now that we've got more midfielders, it means we've got a better chance of those second balls because there's more numbers around it.
I like us playing out from the back, you know, and I think it's ideal, but not when your goalie can't do it.
Well, that's it.
So it looks like they've kind of come round to the fact of, listen, he can't kick it, so let him just whack up the pitch. I think Rodgers ideally would want his goalie to play it out, which again raises questions why he bought this goalie. But it looks like he's come to the decision, just hit it towards one of your wingers and let them contest the header.
Yeah, we tried to change him, and we've tried to bring him on. We said, you can save shots and all that, great. Now we need you to communicate more. We need you to step out a bit more. You know, be a bit more like Reina was in his heyday and things like that. And he just can't do it. He just simply can't do it. And that was the start of this season. And you could see him. Everything he was doing, he was nervous doing because he didn't know what he was meant to do. And I think it culminated with that one with Burnley when he let the ball go for a corner.
That's just ridiculous.
I've never seen anyone do that in my life. But
even Leicester away when he's kicking it and he kicks it straight to their lad.
Yeah,
to Cambiasso.
Yeah.
And then the free kick as well, was that Leicester? When he kicked the free kick straight out for the
it was Palace away.
Palace was
and
that.
Then they scored, yeah. His head had gone.
Yeah.
It looks like now they've kind of, I don't know the way, simplified it basically and said, listen, just worry about saving it, catching it, and we might teach that you later.
We'll lay it back to you as the last resort, and if it comes back to you, get rid. Yeah. Just do what you're comfortable doing. Don't worry about anything else, and we'll sort the rest out. We've got 3 centre halves, we've got this, you know, we'll manage the rest of it.
But it also comes from having a set up back line as well, you know.
It helps, doesn't it?
It does, of course, it does, you know. And the fact that Sakho and Chan are much better ball players than the rest of the defenders we've been playing back there. Yeah. It really does help, and they've got these little triangles going on either side now where every time Sakho picks the ball up, and he's impressed me massively over the last 6 weeks as well. He's been unbelievable. Sakho has got Moreno out to his left, Coutinho dropping inside for him to pass to. He's got Lucas or Henderson pulling towards him, and he's got Skirtle. He doesn't need to pass it back to Mignolet very often anymore, and that's key. Like,
and we're thinking in terms of transfers, and a lot of people would have said also. I mean, I agree with you, goalie strike, and I think as the three of us agreed. There was also talk of centre half and defensive midfielder. Maybe you need one or two. The fact that Sakho's come in and been great, and I'll hold my hands up. I was a Sakho doubter. I really was. I liked him. I thought he was a good defender, and I thought he should play. I don't think he was as good as people always told me. He was brilliant. I'm starting to come around to see it. I must admit I am. The fact that Chan's come in and done well, and the fact that Lucas has come in midfield and done well while Alan's been away. I don't agree. It's kind of like the managers, rather than buy people, we just got our lads back or put someone else in who's done a job. And then now you're thinking, well, we don't need a centre-half because if that happens, Lovren isn't the worst backup defender in the world. There'll be lads sitting on some teams' benches who are worse than him. There will be. Maybe.
Are you sure?
No.
Have you done any research into
yeah,
this?
I might disagree with myself there. Yeah, he's terrible. But we'll have Torre will be back soon and he's alright.
Yeah.
Lucas now comes in, which means that you back up Joe Allen. I like Joe Allen's a decent enough backup. Now he's back fit again. You might even rely on one of the young Jordans. One or two of them might be in there. If needs be, I suppose you could throw Gerrard in. Not ideal, but you can kind of see now why the manager's thinking, or the club are thinking, are we going to be able to buy anyone in this window who's better than what we've got?
It's the storage thing, though, Steve.
I'll get the strike in a minute, but I'm thinking in those areas, I'm thinking, and I don't you agree, they're probably thinking, for what we've got to spend, are we going to be able to buy better than what we've got? Significantly better. And is it worth then buying a lad and bringing him in? And I don't think Rodgers' system, to be honest, is easy. Not many players have come into this system and just got it.
No.
Suarez come in and got it. Sturridge come in and got it. Coutinho, to an extent, did it. Everyone else, it's took them months. It's took them 5-6 months, and we haven't got 5-6 months to bed.
Well, and that's it. You're starting to see now the likes of Moreno, who's up and down for the first few months. The likes of Markovic, they're settling into the side now. And if you've got the likes of Markovic playing for the next 3 or 4 months, like he's played for the last 6 weeks or so, you wouldn't be looking to bring it more in. You know, you don't have to play Henderson wide. You can play more in the centre. And there's things that Emre's coming on a bit more. Sarko's coming and actually being the Sarko. I agree with you yourself. People think he was playing like he was for France in the World Cup every week for us. And there was things on Match of the Day where they was pointing out how deep he was and things like that. He was dropping onto Migniolet's toes half the time. But players are coming on now and players are moving forward. And what we had the start of December when we were on the bad run and all that isn't where we are now. And it's evolved that much that it will take a decent player to go out and buy that's going to be able to fit in. You know, and I agree with that we need another front man at some points, because apart from Sturridge we haven't really got one. But can we make do with Sturridge and Sterling and maybe Berini for 3 or 4 months, move the likes of Berini, Balotelli and Daron, and then look to spend better then? The
issue is you're relying on Sturridge staying fit. That's the only issue in it, because he's made of cheese. That's that. And I think that is one position I am with. If you look around now, I think that is a position Christian will come to. There are players I think you could think we could go after. It wouldn't even be a disaster. Even in this league, the strikers playing for teams who are a little bit below us, who you think you would jump at a chance, who you think, you know what, he might not have to play every week, but I wouldn't, if he was our backup, if he was our 4th choice or 3rd choice, depending on how you rate Balotelli, but there are players. I think that's an issue where I think that they really should be looking. There's nothing to say they're not, but we're not hearing anything at all.
No, I think that's the one transfer that we should be making this.
If we have to make one, you pick a striker.
But it's got to be the right player. I don't know if there is a player in the league that I'd take. If you could name me one in the league that you think, and then
I'm just off the top of my head. I'm just looking, and I'm just thinking. For example, Southampton went and bought all these lads, didn't he? I mean, we're not going to buy them, but the likes of Pele, you look at him and you think, you know what, if we could get someone of that range to be our 3rd choice striker, that isn't a bad option.
But we've got one of them. We've got a Ricky Lambert style striker. We need someone who's going to. It's your line, Sturridge light.
Remy.
Pele's not Sturridge light.
No, I agree. If you wanted a life for like, I saw talk that people were linking Danny Ings, but I think that again, that smacks to me of small fish.
Yeah.
Sorry, big fish in a small pond moving up. So it might not necessarily be in this. I'm just thinking off topic. I say that there's strikers in this league. Whether there is off.
The only one that I would have gone for is Boney, and he's gone, and that's only because he's like a mix between what we want. He's got the pace. He can play on the shoulder.
Suppose if City were willing to let like a Jovetic go, maybe I don't know. If
we need someone faster than Jovetic.
If you want someone lightning.
I want someone fast. Who makes incredibly quick runs. And,
so you're talking maybe a Lacazette, aren't you, over in France, maybe whether he's.
And that's when you're talking summer type of money, aren't you?
That's it.
You're not talking. And again, this is why it made sense in my head anyway to bring Origi back in January. As much as we are buying our own player in a way.
You could have wiped your nose though, couldn't you? Because the money that they got for Asaidi, which is ridiculous, people paid money for him.
Yeah.
You could have went, you know what? We've got a bonus there. It's almost like finding the 50 quid down the couch and you think, you know what? I could either go and put it into the bank or I can go on the piss.
It's a tough one though, because you bring him back and you run the risk of ruining him. You know, we did it with who was the old left back that we used to have? In Suez.
He
We
played
fucked him up big time, and he went on to be a great left back in some top leagues and stuff.
Right,
I really like, you know, if he's not going to get the game time, if he comes in and Sturridge is fit, he ain't getting game time. No. So what was the point?
Well, that's the issue. It's hard to buy a lad because you're going to say to some guy, come and play for Liverpool, yeah, but you're not going to play. That's basically if you're there in case Daniel Sturridge just like falls off again. Yeah. And I think that can be a hard sell, especially in a team that's playing one up front. If you're playing two up front, there's a chance with rotation and stuff that, you know, there's more chances you're going to get a game. With one lad up front, if Sturridge is fit, he's going to play. It is. I think it would be a hard sell to attract, and maybe that's what Liverpool are dealing with. I don't know.
I think they are looking long term as well, because the likes of Origi coming in the summer.
You think then that a Barini or a Lambert's going to make away, or Balotelli, or all three? You wouldn't be surprised. Clean
and shot. That's it. It's a case of where we're going to be in. You know, it's not just buying for this 6 months, are you? You're buying for the next 3 or 4 years if you bring someone in. So, you know, you've got to look. If you've then got Sturridge, Boney, Lassette, whatever you buy, Origi, are you going to be able to get all three of them in the team if you're only playing one on top? Yeah. And then that's the issue he's got, isn't he? You know,
that's what I was going to say to Chris. You mentioned there, you know, we bring Origi and you're not going to give him game time. It's unlikely, I think, at this moment in time that he comes in next year and gets game time. Off the top of my head, again, it comes back to Daniel Sturridge's fitness, doesn't it? Really? And
of course it does. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if he suits our style of play at the moment. I don't see him as that quick, pacey striker. He's sort of again, he's a little bit sort of in between the two types of striker that we've got. Like, I can see him definitely doing a job for us. I think he's a good signing. You know, the goals are dried up at Lille now for him. He hasn't scored since October or something, has he? So, you know, he's not having the best of seasons himself. Now you're saying, all right, the goals are dried up in France. Come and play in the Premier League, lad. It seems balmy to me.
Yeah, I can see why they haven't done it. And what they've done, and I mean, we mentioned it briefly, I'll come to you, they brought Jordon Ibe back in, and that's kind of the way of saying, I thought they'd done it because Gerrard and Lallana weren't fit and they were worried about that, but now all it's done, it's added depth to a team who needed it, because although he's cup tied, we're almost in, you know, Europa League time again. I imagine he'll be able to play in that. It looks like that's what they brought him in for, and I like Jordon Ibe. I think he's a very, very good player, and it was you know, it was telling that he comes straight back, he's on the bench, and he's on the pitch ahead of other players who've been around for a while. So the manager must like what he's seen at training and when he was at Derby.
Yeah, and I think where he'll play as well, I think this maybe takes the need out for the next few months of a striker, because I think he'll play, if him and Sterling the same team, Sterling will be one playing up top.
Yeah.
And I think we've looked at it and gone, well, we need more players who can play in that than two behind the front man, or whatever you call them. Coutinho, Lallana, Gerrard, that's all we've got really. Okay, well, we throw Ibe in there, and then we can say, right, Sterling, you're going to be up top.
That's what it looks like to me as well. It looks like what they've said now is,
we've compromised, haven't we?
I think they've made the decision that Sterling is the second striker when Sturridge. That's what he's done. He looks like he's gone, right, we need to get Ibe in, who's a Sterling light again. I keep saying this, but he's not as good as Sterling was at that age. He's more physical and strong.
He's a better finisher though.
He has got a good finish on him, but he's not the quality. But it looks to me, they've said, right, if Sterling's our backup striker, that means we need someone to be the backup to watch, you know, Phil Sterling.
Lallana goes down, and what are you doing?
Exactly, and if you want Markovic playing wing back, then he's got. So
you know, I was having a conversation with Matt Ladston from This Is Anfield, and he reckons that Jordon Ibe might get a few games at wing back.
It wouldn't
Markovic be the one to play in the 10.
Again, it wouldn't. He's physical. I think he's physical if he's quick enough and he's got the skills and he can beat a man.
And if there's space for him to bomb into, he'll fucking get in there quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at times his decision making isn't great at times, and I don't know if you heard the Steve McClaren. He said he had to teach him to develop him to. You say like we'd be training, we'd have to have one ball for the team and one ball for Jordon Ibe because he didn't want to pass it. Basically, he just wanted to run rings around everyone. So at times I've watched him at under 21s, and it did look like, you know, you might want to give someone a pass, like, you know what I mean. But I suppose when you've grew up being the best lad everywhere you've been, and you've been playing games since you were 16 at a professional level, and it's understandable that you're in that mode. But again, I agree. I wouldn't be that surprised if you did see him occasionally at full, maybe in a Europa League home game or a cup. Again, he's not cup game, he's cup tied, but maybe in the Europa League, last 10 at home at Anfield, if we're up theoretically, hasn't happened much. But maybe that's something we're looking at.
We made them look ordinary, and they're the best team in the league at the moment, aren't they? And we made them look ordinary. And you know what? That Diego Costa, he's a fucking cheating little scumbag. He is everything that I despise about Chelsea Football Club.